Hey guys, it's 17th of September 2008, 11:04 in the evening, and I'm here with something a little different. Title for this, blah, title for this one is a little self-explanatory. Voting on what you think are the best and worst of my first 20 playthroughs. I decided to wait for 20 for this one because it's a nice round number to start with, and gives a nice amount of playthroughs. Why do I hear a cricket? Yeah, I just want your input on this because, well, if I see how much you like each playthrough, well, what playthroughs you think are better than usual, and which you think are worse than usual, mostly, then it could probably help me do better playthroughs. uh, oh, and I want to make sure you follow this before you do anything. You are voting for your favorite and least favorite playthroughs, not your favorite and least favorite games. Say you really hate this one game, but you thought I did a really good playthrough of it, uh, but you like this other game, but you think I did a terrible playthrough of it, then, well, yeah, I think you know what I'm. No, I might want to clarify it a little because I've known to be a little confusing. Uh, if I did a good, if you really liked a playthrough I did of a game that you really hate, then you'd say it's a good playthrough, not a bad playthrough. So you'd vote for good, not bad. I hope you get that. Any questions, just ask in the comments. And also in the comments is the important thing. It's where you're gonna vote. Vote which you think is the best, which you think is the worst. And if you want, I can include second best and second worst. You don't need to, but it might help a little if there are some ones you also want to point out that you really did like or you really didn't like. And you can point out third worst or fourth worst favorite, second favorite, whatever, if you want. But it's really not necessary. But you could. Uh, yeah, and I think that's just. Sorry about that. I think that's just about all the things I really should point out. Now I might want to just do a quick little run through of what my those 20 playthroughs you can vote on are, just so you remember what is what. I started out in November '07 with Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, though they didn't come up till February. They were pretty fun to do, but I really didn't know what I was doing for a playthrough because it was my first two. Then in December, I continued with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and that also went up in February. Uh, yeah, bit longer than the other ones, but I had fun with it. Don't know if you liked it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. That's the entire point of this. I didn't have any playthroughs up publicly for view yet because I really didn't know if I should. But then, at the end of January '08, someone put up a live feed of them playing through Subspace Emissary and through Smash Brothers Brawl, and I recorded it and added comments of my own. But since I wasn't the one playing that, it does not count. Do not vote for that one. Sorry. So then, at the end of February, beginning of March, I did Sonic CD because, well, I guess some people did like my Sonic 1, 2, and 3 playthrough, so decided to continue. And yeah, it was pretty short and tied for my shortest right now. Then came Sonic Adventure 1, which I found a little boring, but it was still a good game, and people liked the game, and maybe you liked the playthrough, maybe you hated it, who knows. Then came Sonic Adventure 2, the Hero and Last Stories. I had more fun with it than Sonic Adventure 1, but I had less to say, so maybe it was more boring, but maybe you liked it more. Why do I keep saying this? I'm just drawing this video out. Then came Sonic Heroes, a little longer than Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, at the end of March. And yeah, it was Sonic Heroes. Then, beginning of April, we had Shadow the Hedgehog. I took a certain path, few levels that I liked and I thought would fit with, well, not all of them I liked. Some of them I liked. Most of them maybe. And I thought they'd fit best with the final story for Shadow, and it all comes together or whatever. Then came the infamous Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. A lot of people hated the game, but maybe you liked my playthrough of it. Or maybe you hated it. I'm just drawing this video out, you know that. And then to end off with the 10th playthrough and the big stream of Sonic playthroughs before we got on to more other types of games, was Sonic and the Secret Rings. I did it with just the upgrades on already because it's really boring without them and annoying, which is why a lot of people don't get far in the game without just giving up on it. Uh, then came my first non-Sonic playthrough at the beginning of May with Pikmin, and it was easily my longest playthrough yet to that time, and yeah, a little more than 5 hours. Maybe the 5 hours was too drawn out. Maybe you liked it a lot. I'm drawing this video out a lot. Then came the first of the Metal Gear playthroughs, Metal Gear 1 for the MSX, not Metal Gear Solid 1. First 2D, the 2D original Metal Gear game from the 80s. And yeah, it was my first time playing it, so it was interesting, at least. Then came Mario Kart Wii, because someone suggested it. And yeah, not a normal playthrough, but maybe you thought it was fun. Then there was Knuckles Chaotix back to the Sonic playthroughs for once, in June. And I had my brother doing two-player co-op for it, because it's a very co-op game. That sounded weird. And yeah, we had to record it in low video quality because we had to record it off the TV screen because of the Genesis and stuff. But yeah. Then came Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation, not the Twin Snakes remake. And yeah, and it's passed off Pikmin as my longest playthrough. And yeah, I cut out most of the cutscenes though. And I kind of sucked at it, but that's what you guys are coming to watch, isn't it? Then was Metal Gear Solid 4. If you haven't watched this one yet, it's alright, just you don't need to because there's spoilers, so yeah, if you don't want to spoil it for yourself, don't watch it, and just ignore it for now. And yeah, I did it in June 08, but because of copyright or whatever, I couldn't put it on YouTube, and I had a while to wait before I could put it on Daily Motion, so if you don't care about spoilers but you haven't seen it yet, then go watch it. But if you do care about spoilers, don't watch it. Just ignore it. Also, for this one, if you want, you can vote for, if you have to vote for this, feel like voting for this one, you could, if you want, vote for what your favorite or least favorite acts are. It's up to you. And yeah, I got it up in July, finally. Then at the end of July, I finally got back to a non-Metal Gear playthrough with Super Mario World, and I really sucked at playing it. But maybe you like the suck, and that sounded weird too. Then came August with Portal, and sorry about that. Then came Portal in August, and I just recorded it in my brother's room, so he was there the whole time, even though he wasn't playing. Yeah, thought I'd point that out. Then in the middle of August or whatever, we had Star Fox 64. I did it in two phases. The first one was my very first time ever playing it, and I really was horrible. And then one day later, I somehow managed to get through it easily. And then finally, the 20th playthrough, the Dark Side Story of Sonic Adventure 2, beginning of September 2008. Yeah, it was shorter than usual, but that's because it was only part of the game. But it was a good part. Or maybe you thought it was a bad part. And so, this is getting a little long, and I'm really drawing it out, and there's not much more to say, so thanks, and get to voting, and I keep thinking there's something I'm forgetting to say about this. Some rule I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, if you want to, if you vote, but then later think that you don't like that vote, and you want to recast your vote, then just let me know that you're recasting your vote, and I'll cancel out the original and take your new vote. Yeah, so get to voting, and here's to another 20 playthroughs.